I do want to crystallize that a little bit, if I can, but it's an answer to your question. Of course, there is no way today to penalize somebody for doing something against halacha, correct? But the Orthodox, or what I understand as Torah, approach is you have to do this if you want to be you. And if you don't want to be you, you don't have to do it. In other words, let me say a little bit differently. We were a people first. We become a nation. After we become a nation, sometime in the Exodus, a little short time later, we get the Torah. And the Torah says, you want to be this nation that reveals God's presence in this world? This is what you need to do. If you don't do this, then you're essentially not engaging in a relationship with the Creator. Let me say it a little bit differently. It's called two words, and it's from this week's Torah portion. Na'aseh v'nishma. The Jewish people say the words, we will do, and then we will hear. And essentially what that means is, it's not my choice. I'm going to do this because this is who I am. Now, let me try to understand it and to connect to it based on who I am. Let me try to understand what the relevance is. Some of it I'm not going to understand. Some of it I will understand. Let me explain it a little bit differently. Na'aseh v'nishma says as follows, and this is the way the Beis Halevi, the Brisker Rabbi, explains this. Rabbi Kook explains this also. He says, when I say counterintuitively, I'm going to do, and then I'm going to hear. What does that sound like? It sounds like robots, no? Except we said we will hear afterwards. So it doesn't really sound like robots. But the fact that I'm going to do whatever it is you tell me to do sounds like my choice. It's not my choice. I don't have free will anymore. What I'm saying is, in order for me to engage in a relationship, I'm going to accept whatever you tell me. Now I'm going to understand, I'm going to delve into, which is my responsibility. It's called learning the Torah. The stage one, what happens is now that I took care of the doing part, when I learn and I understand, I'm not just going to understand what's relevant for me. I'm not just going to understand or learn what's practical for me. I'm not limited to just me. So Na'aseh v'nishma, if that makes any sense to anybody, expands my choice to say that, if I want to have a relationship with the Creator, I have to hear everything He says and follow everything He says. Now, if I don't want to have a relationship with the Creator, you can say that's my choice, but then I'm not being me. Or let's say a little bit differently. Na'aseh v'nishma, there's a Midrash that explains that in last week's Torah portion, the mountain is above our head, and God says, either you accept the Torah or this mountain will bury you. Okay? Very good. Very dramatic. What on earth is God saying? What on earth does it say for the Torah that has to be forced upon us? Right? A lot of questions. Also, a very good question is, we just said we're going to do it. Why? What's this Midrash teaching me? You just said we're going to do it. Why do I have to have a mountain hovering above my head that says do it or else? What's the idea? So the Maharal and others explain, it's teaching me that I don't have that much of a choice. This is who I am. If I want to be who I am, this is what it's called Torah. It's called Halakhah. It's called, if you want to be a good person, you have to drive a certain way. You don't want to be a good person, then you're not a good person. Now, you can translate it saying, Rabbi, are you saying that only Orthodox Jews are good Jews? I didn't say that. I'm saying that the way that we approach Torah and the way that we approach Halakhah is, it's binding, which means it's not my choice. It's my choice to decide to be what I want. If I'm a Jew, I have to be a Jew. If I'm not a Jew, I have to recognize I'm not being who I am. So in a way, it's not about choosing to do halacha because I'm not going to be, it's not really a choice because I'm not going to be punished for it, or it is a choice because I'm not going to be punished for it. But it's true. But if you want to be Jewish, this is how you have to live as a Jew. If you want to engage in a relationship with God, you have to listen to what God says. We'll call that halacha for now. We'll call that, this is the way to walk in the will of the Creator. You want to engage a relationship with Hashem, you have to follow halacha. If you don't want to engage a relationship with Him, that's your choice. That does sound like Rabbi Stoller said, with a little bit of a nuance there.